Another one of my live stream lectures. And before I get into this topic, I just want to take a moment to thank all of my supporters and my subscribers for supporting my channel. You know, my channel will be 4 years old June of this year, and nothing would be possible without all of my supporters. And before I get into introducing the Audiobook Network Publishing contract, you know, I may have to pause for a moment because I got the Spectrum guy out here working on getting my internet up. I'm using my smartphone right now. But other than that, let's go ahead and get down to business. So the focus of this lecture is I'm going to present my Audiobook Network Publishing contract that I entered into February the 21st, 2023, signed by both parties, Audiobook Network and Marie Holiday. They are the world-renowned publishing company that published my already published book, Await Financial Freedom, into an audiobook. You know, it took them 6 months to transform my published work into an audiobook. The audiobook version of Await Financial Freedom became available in October of last year. And the printed version, the ebook version, the Kindle version, that was done by Page Publishing Company, and that was done well over 2 years ago. So let's get on down to business. The first part of this contract with Audiobook Network, you know, they talk about on this first page, the above reference work, hereafter referred to as work, is exclusively owned by Marie C. Holiday and has been officially reviewed as of February 21st, 2023, and accepted for publication by Audiobook Network, hereafter referred to as the publisher. So that in the work consists of 6,824 words. And going into this contract, it says the publisher will provide the following professional services to the author: assignment of an audio production coordinator. The author will be assigned an audio production coordinator to coordinate production of the audiobook, including assisting the author with the auditioning and selection of voiceover narrators, coordinating and scheduling recording sessions in the studio, oversight of post-production editing, drafting, and author approval of a professional press release, and listing the audiobook for sale on the publisher affiliate vendors platform. So I was assigned an audio production coordinator. You know, all of the money I spent this world-renowned publishing company to provide these services was a 100% write-off. It talks about production timeline calendar. Publisher will provide author with a customized production timeline calendar. It literally took the experts 6 months to transform my published work into an audiobook. I couldn't have done that. I don't know nothing about that. Pay these people to do what they do. Detailing the attendance schedule for the production process, including the selection of the voiceover narrator, time frame for recording sessions, expected completion dates for post-production editing, technical pre-upload, quality checks, eventual upload of the finished audiobook to the vendor platforms, narration talent questionnaire. The audio production coordinator will provide author with a comprehensive questionnaire that will assist with compiling a list of 3 voice-over narrators so that the author may choose one for narration of the audiobook. Attributes like voice actor's gender and or race that may be pertaining to production will be delineated in the questionnaire. So when they got to that point, my production coordinator literally sent me 3 voice narrators. They had to work in the studio to read areas of my book, and I had to listen to all 3 of those voices. And I was sold on the 3rd voice, Patricia Burgos. Her voice pitch tone was incongruent with the concept of my book. I was sold on her voice, so I selected Patricia Burgos as my voice narrator for my audiobook on my network. Her name is also indicated. If you go to Audiobook Network to purchase that audio version, you will see her name as the narrator. She gets her royalties, and I literally listened to all three. And again, I was sold on her voice narration. Compilation of voiceover narrator selection based upon information provided in the narration talent questionnaire. The author publication coordinator, along with an in-house casting director, will select 3 preferred voiceover narrators so that the author may choose one and provide the author with a sample audio clip of these voiceover narrators, previous audiobook samples. So like again, I selected Patricia. Creation of audio clip. Publisher will produce a brief audition recording, 200 to 300 words, performed by the author's selected voiceover narrator of an excerpt selected by the author of the previous edition. Upon the author's approval of the voiceover narrator, the project will proceed to narration and production phase. And my audiobook was in production phase for 6 months by the experts. There's no way I could have done that. I don't know all this. Production and post-production editing. Immediately upon the author's selection of a voiceover narrator, studio time will be booked for recording sessions of the audiobook, assuming a word count as stated above. Upon completion of all recording sessions, the finished audio files will be transferred to the editing studio for post-production editing, such as debreathing, external noise, balancing, symbolics, and assurance of correct dynamic range. Narration will not include endnotes, footnotes, and related citation methods, as well as caption, charts, and graphs. Again, these are the experts. They know what they're doing. Upon upload technical variation, prior to uploading the finished audiobook to the published affiliate retail vendors and platform, the digital audio files will be verified by publisher to ensure that they are in compliance with each vendor's technical requirements regarding proper buy rate, sample rate, and codices. That's a language all unknown to me. I leave these experts up to that. Preview version for author approval and platform upload. The finished, completed, and technical verified audio files will be submitted to the author for approval before uploading to the vendor retail platforms. And as we move on into this body of knowledge, it talks about upon author's approval, the audiobook and corresponding print edition cover art will be supplied by the author and reformatted by the publisher to satisfy various technical requirements. I couldn't have done that. What they did on my already published book, they put the cover from my published book done by Page Publishing Company and formatted that cover for a audiobook. I couldn't have done all that. That's what I'm paying them to do. I paid them the truckload of money to do all this. So it talks about author approval, the audiobook and corresponding print edition cover art, which would be supplied by the author and reformatted by publisher to satisfy various technical requirements, will be uploaded to Amazon, Audible, and Apple in accordance with their respective terms and conditions. And like I said, I may have to pause because I got my Spectrum guy working on my internet, so just bear with me for a moment. Oh, that was him. So I'm gonna keep on going. So it talks about that the author is required to notify publisher of any errors and requested corrections to the final narration file within 45 days of receiving it from the publisher. So I did all that. They just check, double check, triple check. Distribution of press release. By utilizing author's original hard copy, this is the original hard copy, or ebook press release when available, Publisher will adapt same for author's audiobook and will, upon approval by the author of the adapted press release, distribute the press release through publisher third-party newswire service, and all of that drove sales. In the event that no previous press release exists, publisher will create a new press release for the author. So they kind of piggyback off my press release done by Page Publishing Company. Audiobook utilized some of that body of knowledge and then a second press release to promote my audiobook. Electronic transmissions, all files related to the audiobook production, including production timelines, questionnaire, audio files, finished audiobooks, reports, and the like, are to be transmitted between Audiobook Network and author electronically. Author royalties. Publisher will remit to author 100% of all monies received by it from each respected vendor on behalf of the author. So I ain't got to worry about none of that. None of that. Quarterly accounting reports listing all sales that has transacted with each distribution outlet and all net profits generated therefore. As per each respective outlet, the most recent terms and conditions will be provided to the author by the publisher. After the author has received a sum of $10,000 in aggregated royalties, the publisher shall be entitled to a 4% commission on all future royalties received on the author's behalf, and that 4% will be written off as a business expense. That's how the publishing company began to make their money. This agreement shall remain in effect for 7 years, the current minimum required by Amazon. An author hereby authorized Audiobook Network to act as the sole and exclusive worldwide publisher of the audiobook edition for said period. Upon expiration of this agreement, Audiobook Network immediately will relinquish any and all rights to publish the work in audiobook format and to any further commissions as defined above. So when I hit that 7-year mark, bottom line, I will no longer have to pay Audiobook Network 4% commissions on all of my sales. But they're going to make their money. I'm going to make my money. Go ahead and take that 4% until the 7 years is up. I'm writing off as a business expense, and I'm getting my quarterly checks every single quarter because they're doing a lot of stuff behind the scenes to drive sales. Because if you don't spend money, you ain't gonna make no money. I'm here to tell you. And creation of an author YouTube channel. The publisher will establish a YouTube channel for author's book marketing campaign. The book's video trailer and Zoom interview will be posted on this YouTube channel. A corresponding Gmail account will also be created and linked to the YouTube channel, both of which will be transferred to the author upon completion of the marketing campaign. And all that marketing, again, is just driving my sales. Promotional video trailer. This 30-second video production shall include high-resolution images of the book's cover design, images related to the theme story, and information as to the various outlets where the book is available for purchase. This promotional video trailer will be posted on the author's YouTube channel. So anybody go to my channel, you can see that video trailer or the audiobook video trailer, and again, that drives sales. Video interview via Zoom. A video interview will be conducted with author via a video conference service like Zoom or equivalent by an experienced book interviewer journalist and would be edited to a finished length of 3 to 5 minutes. This pre-recorded professional edit video will be posted to the author's YouTube channel, and all of that drives sales. Podcast interview on the Reader House Author Roundtable. This interview conducted by the Reader House Author Roundtable host will concentrate on the author's audiobook and background. The podcast interview will be no less than 3 minutes in length and will be pre-recorded and professionally edited. Hold on one second. How we looking?
Good. I tried to run a new line. It's kind of a pain.
All right. Give me 1 second. Let me work with my Spectrum guy. I really appreciate all of your hard work. I know it was a lot of challenges for you. I know it was.
It's just crazy. It was good, and then
oh my God,
I was like, okay, well, gotta run a new one. All right.
oh, just do what you got to do.
I'm getting there.
All right. Yeah, I really appreciate him doing all his. My internet's been out since Tuesday. Found out the lawn folks cut my lawn. They messed up the wires, and so he's been working on all of that. So I think I left off on, we talked about the podcast interview that was done with Reader House Author Roundtable, and all that doing is exposing my book to international markets. Pinterest business account. Publisher will create a Pinterest business account for author, will create 10 pins based on the subject matter of the work, and will publish these pins to the author's Pinterest profile upon completion. The Pinterest profile will release and transfer to the author. So all of this phenomenal marketing ain't doing nothing but driving my sales. Facebook social media launch package. Publisher will create and launch a author specific Facebook social media kickoff campaign with initial graphics and posts. Creation of this kickoff campaign will commence immediately after distribution of the press release, so that the campaign can maximize and attain exposure. The campaign will consist of the establishment of a Facebook page to be associated with the author's personal Facebook page for security and author accessibility purposes, containing author's book cover art and a direct link to the author's web page, if applicable, an Instagram page. Author will be responsible for monitoring and responding to all interaction, and the campaign will be released and turned over to the author after the final post. The campaign will include 12 initial posts. So they already done all that, and all that has a direct impact on driving my sales. And this next part of this contract, it just kind of gives an overview of the timeline, the production timeline, calendar, narration talent questionnaire, compilation of voiceover narrator selection timeline, creation of the audio clip, production and post-production editing timeline, preview version for author approval and platform upload for sale distribution on Apple, upload for sale distribution on Amazon and Audible. On all of those platforms, those sales have been driven. Creation of an author's YouTube channel, promotional video trailer, video interview via Zoom, podcast interview on the Reader House Author Roundtable, Pinterest business account, Facebook social media launch program, timeline for all of that, audiobook creation and distribution, and additional enhanced marketing package. Audiobook Network did a tremendous amount of marketing behind this powerful book in audiobook version, Awake Financial Freedom. In this last page, it talks about truckload of money Marie Holiday had to pay for these services. These services were not free. It was a 100% write-off. And then terms and conditions. Author to retain all rights, both the original work or author, and all materials prepared by publisher, including but not limited to electrical files, publicity material, and the like, shall be the sole property of the author and shall be transferred free of charge to the author by the publisher at any time upon the author's request. Any derivative works of the author's original work, screenplays, motion pictures, TV scripts, etc., shall be the sole and exclusive property of the author. IRS Form W-9, as condition of publisher remitting royalties to the author, author agrees to complete and remit to publisher an IRS Form W-9 supplied to author by publisher in compliance with the Internal Revenue Service. Author and publisher acknowledge that vendors may change their royalty structure at their discretion. Publisher may remit royalties to author via check or ACH payment at the publisher discretion. Author represents that he/she is the original and true author and owner of the work and has not previously assigned these rights to any other parties. Author hereby agrees to defend hold harmless publisher against any claims of infringement or libel which may be brought against publisher regarding author's work. Publisher may, at its discretion, suspend the book from vendor sale platforms if an action for libel or copyright infringement is threatened or initiated. In short, do your own work, write your own manuscript, don't plagiarize, etc. Any dispute, controversy, or claim between author, publisher, and author regarding this agreement shall be submitted to mandatory and binding arbitration under the terms of the rules of the American Arbitration Association as then in effect. All claims must be brought in the party's individual capacity and not as a class member in any purported class of represented proceedings. Arbitration proceedings shall be heard in Maricopa County, Arizona by a single arbitrator serving at the mutual destination of the parties, and each party shall be solely responsible for their own attorney fees in conjunction with said arbitration. Any issues concerning the applicability, interpretation, or enforceability of these procedures, including any contention that all or parts of these procedures are invalid or unenforceable, will be governed by the Federal Arbitration Act. In no event will publisher be liable for lost profits, incidental, coincidental, special, punitive, or indirect damages. And this legal contract was signed by Audiobook Network and Marie Holiday on February 21st, 2023. And this is a legal document. And this completes the presentation of my executed contract with Audiobook Network, the publisher, and Marie Holiday. So again, pass this information along. Somebody might want to find out more about how a executed contract reads. If you have a book that you're trying to get published, whether it's audiobook version or soft copy or hard copy version, go through the experts, pay the money, write it off as a business expense, because these people really do know what they're doing when they're backing your work to drive sales. So again, that's all I have. Mark your calendar for next topic. Relational lecture will be June the 8th. June the 8th at 11 o'clock. I'm going to do a relational lecture on, I'm going to present information on the next step in terms of introducing Audiobook Network screenplay creation. That's going to be the next step. They're going to take my book. I'm going to present this information so you all can know the steps on what it takes for a published work to be converted into a screenplay by a world-renowned publishing company, Audiobook Network. So if you want to find out how that reads, tune in June the 8th at 11. And that's all I have. Simplify, simple fidelis. And I'm going to leave in the care of your own conscience.